All right, we will go ahead and get started. My name is Joseph Hamer. I am a realtor with Reese Nichols, and before I was a realtor, I was an elementary teacher and an elementary assistant principal. My eyes first got opened into real estate back in 2019, where I kind of had that light bulb moment where I was like, what the heck, I'm paying rent and I'm never gonna see that money again. If I bought a house, I'm going to be paying down the mortgage, I'm investing, and 2 or 3 months after I had that light bulb moment, my wife and I bought our first home, and that's when our investing journey actually began because what we did was a live-in flip. So we bought it, we gutted it, and we renovated our primary home, lived in it for 2 years, sold it, avoiding those capital gains taxes, and that's when we realized, like, holy smokes, this is cool, and this is something that we should keep doing. So again, that was back in 2019. Fast forward to today, I'm all in, a full-time realtor helping people that I know, like, and trust buy and sell their primary houses, and as well as invest in our community, both in single-family, multifamily, and large multifamily, as well as purchasing and offloading packages. So my hands are in real estate every day. It's truly something that I wake up and I'm actually really excited for every single day. I am very active as a realtor. In fact, I still feel like I invest in real estate on nights and weekends, just like I did as a teacher and assistant principal. The realtor side of things is primarily what I do. Currently, we have just under 3 million pending, and the team that I'm on as a whole is looking like 7 million just in the month of May that's going to close. So we're very active. We're supporting people in all different walks of life, from that first home or that first investment all the way up to the seasoned investor and going into those 7-digit homes. A big swing of things, and today I am really excited to talk to you about selling your house for more money and what might that really mean. So first, I want you to turn and talk to someone next to you about what you think the number one predictor is and whether or not a home will sell successfully. What's the most important thing? Turn and talk to somebody. All right, so ultimately, we will hit on that later. Ultimately, what's important for me to let you know is, as a seller who wants to sell for the most amount of money, you are always in control of the decisions. You make every decision, and it's my job to make sure you make an informed decision. No matter what your decision is, whether it's what I would have done or not, from there, I set the expectation. So if you want to list your house astronomically high, that's fine. I'm going to set your expectations of what the future might look like. If you want to sell your house for just getting out of it, I can also set those expectations, right? My job is to make sure you make informed, confident, comfortable decisions, and then educate you on what your expectations need to be moving forward. So as future sellers, you might be keeping your eye on some local market data. And something you've likely seen is average days on market. Your average days on market in March in the Wichita area for single family homes was 44 days on market. And a lot of realtors are telling their clients, hey, be patient, 44 days on average. No need to worry, no need to stress. But if you take a closer look at the data, the average number is super misleading. Homes are either selling in 10 days or less or 40 days plus. There's very few that are in that 10 to 30 day range. The few that are in the 10 to 30 day range are usually the people who listed too high, got no showings, responded quickly, dropped the price to be something more realistic to meet the market, and then they're selling within that range. But most homes are either selling very quick right now, or they're sitting on the market a long time. All right, so if you look at the data that I gave you all that has March's most recent closed data, it breaks it out by sales price. And so There's different rows, and I want you to find the house or the row that your house will probably fall under. And this will probably be the only time that I say it, but Zillow is fine for this. If you don't know what price your house might fall under, you can get on Zillow and check it really quick. Only for this though, okay? Only for this activity. Check it out, see which row your home's going to fall under. And I want you to take a look at the column that says months supply. This is another metric that you should be keeping your eyes on if you're thinking about selling in the next 12 months. There's an old saying that says 3 months supply is a balanced market, and that's not true anymore. But month supply basically just means if no more homes hit the market, how many months would it take before all the inventory is gone? So how quickly are homes being bought versus homes hitting the market versus inventory sitting, right? So it's this simple metric, and 0 to 2 months is more of a seller's market. That 2 to 3 months is more of a balanced market, and the 3+ months of inventory means buyers are having more control there. So I want you to take a look though. One more column over, there is average days on market and median days on market. And those two numbers are important because the bigger the gap between those two numbers tells you how split the experience is for those sellers. So if the average days on market and the median days on market are very close together, that data is probably very similar. That's when realtors should be telling you, hey, average days on market's 44, we're gonna be fine. We don't need to think about, getting too worried until that point. But if there's a big difference, like if you take a look at the price range of $500,000 to $750,000 in Wichita, the average days on market is 70, and the median days on market is 23. So the median means half of the homes are selling quicker than this, half of the homes are selling longer than this. If the median is 23, so half of the homes are selling for under 23 days, but the average is 70, that's giving you a strong picture that homes that are in good conditions, good price, and good neighborhoods in that price point are selling very quickly, and the homes that are not are spending a long time in order to bring the average, even though half is under 23, for the average to be at 70 is a scary sign. In fact, if you look, their months of inventory is 4, which tells you those homes that are in rough condition or are priced incorrectly is becoming a buyer's market. Buyers are going to be able to ask for more concessions, they're going to be able to negotiate stronger, and they're certainly going to have more choices to choose from. Now, I am going to go through something that's kind of fun next, and what it is actually my version of March Madness. It's April's Madness, the Seller's Edition. So what we have is kind of a bracket here, and we're going to be talking about what actually gets your home to sell. Now, our first step is price versus marketing. Marketing is, of course, your photos and videos, but it's also your flyers, your open house, the postcards that I send out, all of those things for marketing. I've got to be honest, marketing helps get attention for your house, but price is the thing that's going to sell your house. So price wins round 1. Down below that, we have condition versus location. I'm sure that you've probably heard the 3 rules of real estate, right? Location, location, location. But I have to be honest, I may get you upset. I don't think location wins this one. In today's market, in today's economy, buyers don't really have extra cash. And I think what sells a home right now is actually its condition. Now, of course, this is not talking about going from a buyer willing to go from an A neighborhood to a C neighborhood. This is saying if they have to choose between an A and a B neighborhood, but the condition is there, they're choosing condition right now. Buyers don't want to have to make repairs, and maybe they can't even afford to do so. And so condition right now wins. Okay, coming up to the top Photos versus strategy. And strategy is everything from what day do we list on? Personally, I like listing on a Wednesday or Thursday. It gives enough time for it to really build up some momentum before the first weekend. And it also gives you a little bit of time if you get an offer really quickly. You have some negotiating power to get an even better offer or even better terms if they want you to accept it prior to that first weekend. There's also things, of course, like what actual price you land on, the difference between $700,000 and $699,000, and whether or not we do open houses. Those are strategy things. And then, of course, photos is your professional photography and videography that I personally pay for because I will not let you sell a house without that. Maybe I just gave away what I'm going to say wins here. Your photos and your videography win. Most buyers right now are scrolling what as they search for a home? That's right, they're scrolling on Zillow, and if your photos are ugly, they think your house is ugly, and it doesn't matter what plan you have going into it. If the photos don't make somebody want to click it, open it, and go live in it, you're wasting your time with everything else. All right, next up, the agent or the market. What's going to make that house sell? The agent or the market? I think a good agent uses the market to your advantage, and a bad agent blames the market. The market is not a factor if your home sells or not, because I promise if you look around you, homes are selling in every market. So agent wins this one. We're at the final four. All right, price or condition. I told you earlier, if your home is on that trend past the average days on market, there's two clear rules. It's either price or condition. In fact, I often say if you're getting no showings, it's your price. And if you're getting showings and no offers, it's your condition. But guess what? Fixing the condition of your home is not always easy, but do you know what you always do have control over your home? That's right, your list price. Price wins every time here. Okay, on the other side of our bracket, we have the photos versus the agent. So professional photography and videography or your agent. We're talking about getting your home sold. So while I think your photos gets people to click and maybe gets people to set up a showing, the agent is who gets your house sold and gets you the terms in which you feel most confident and comfortable accepting that offer with. Okay, now this one's tricky. We're in our championship, right? You have the price versus the agent. On one hand, I want to say the best agent in the world can't fix a bad price, right? I also think the best agent in the world would help coach somebody to list at a price that's realistic for them. But at the end of the day, if we're talking about getting a home sold, price is always going to win. You can go sell your house by yourself at a price and do it without an agent. And if we're talking about selling at top dollar, then I think the agent may win this one. But ultimately, if we're just talking about getting your house sold, price is going to win this bracket. It's going to take the gold. Now, the topic of today, though, is selling for more money. How do I sell my house for more money? And while price may be a way to get your house sold, hiring the right realtor is how you make sure you net the most money when it counts. And I want to go through a few practical insider nuggets to make sure you feel like you have some control outside of just figuring out what price is going to sell your house. Where else do you have some control? The first one is, the first one is pricing. Pricing, I want you to think of as a marketing strategy, okay? Some sellers have a hard time putting a price on their home because they feel like it's a part of them and it's their worth and it's their value. And if they say it's worth this on the market, I want you to let go of your ego and remember that price is a marketing tool, okay? So what I mean by that is those first 10 days we know are critical. You can either market your home in a way that builds urgency and it creates an intensity around the home, or you can use your pricing to say, oh, it's certainly worth this, and that way we have room to come down. And what that does is market your home differently, right? So I want you to think about your pricing as a marketing strategy, not as a value of how much your home is worth. Now, obviously, I'm not saying if your home is probably worth $425 to list it at $325. I'm not saying that at all. And even when I talk here, I don't mean just keep cutting your price. But certainly, if your home is worth $425, I don't think you should list it at $450, thinking, well, then we can drop down to $425 if we need to. In fact, I think you can make more money if you listed your home at $420 or even $415, got multiple offers, who may also waive their inspection if it's competitive, who may waive appraisal contingencies. You're going to build urgency, which is going to get you better terms, which is likely going to net you more money and do it faster. If you're going to net $425 either way, why spend 70 plus days on the market? Why not net $425 in the first week with stronger terms for you? So again, pricing is a marketing strategy. Okay, the second thing is that the first 2 weeks matter more than ever, so make sure you spend the extra time to get your home ready. Right? We don't want the first 5 showings to walk through a dirty house or a house that doesn't have a fridge, but it's going to have a fridge, or the roof's going to get replaced, but it's not ready yet. We want your house to be top-notch, best foot forward right when it hits the market, because oftentimes your first offer is your best because they're urgent and they want to make sure that you accept that offer before they get flooded. The third thing that I want to talk to you about is that a price reduction is more expensive than staging. If your home is vacant, staging your home, while it is a small investment of between $1,000 and $2,000, is far cheaper than a price reduction. Your average price reduction is anywhere between $5,000 and $25,000. So why not spend $2,000, let buyers dream and fall in love right away, and get offers quicker and at a better price. Number 4, the lockbox effect is what I call this. Realtors, our worst enemy is the lockbox. Okay, it's embarrassing. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Okay, it's embarrassing when the lockbox doesn't work, or if the lockbox works and you're just jiggling the key because the doorknob's kind of finicky. It's not one of our best moments as realtors. Okay. But that's not the point. The point is, while the realtor is panicking and letting sweat run down their back trying to get the key unlocked, what are their clients doing? The buyers are standing on your front porch for 30 seconds, maybe even a minute, looking around. And the front porch is often an area that gets neglected from a homeowner, right? You're so busy getting your house ready for the market that all you've done is focus on the inside, and you've kind of forgot that there's an old wasp nest and some cobwebs, and the mulch is old, but it's going to look okay in photos. If you are getting ready to sell your home, I would encourage you to go stand on your front porch, actually set maybe a 45-second timer, and then just stand there. Stand there naturally. You don't have to look like an inspector. Just stand there naturally, see what your eye notices, because more than likely, the buyers for your future home are going to be doing the same thing, and that micro minute of the showing is very impactful to how they perceive the rest of your house as being cared for. 5, micro conditions matter at 300,000 plus. We're in Wichita. Your average home is, around the $250,000 mark. Wichita buyers that are at the $300,000 to, I'll call it $700,000 range, are very, very picky, and they don't have the funds to fix things generally. At the $700,000+ mark, of course they're still picky, but generally they have money in reserves to fix the problems that they see. In the 3 to 7 range, buyers don't have the money, the capacity, the time to fix all the little things. And when I say the micro conditions, I'm talking about your baseboards, your ceiling paint, all of the little things that you're walking around your house that you've grown used to because your kids have run through the house. Buyers see those things and they decide they would rather wait for a home because they're truly investing their savings into this. They would rather wait for the right condition than overlook and say, that's a DIY list that we can get to. The last thing as an insider nugget for you, again, as a seller, I hope that you have somebody giving you some frequent data. Your sold comparable data shows you where the market was, and it's what an appraiser is going to use to put a value on your home. The pending market data shows you what buyers are willing to pay today, as well as what condition is selling. I've heard several people tell me, hey, the home down the street is listed for this, my house is nicer than that, I want to list for this. The reason we look at active data, which is the third data, is because it tells you what your current competition is. And just because Johnny's listed at 280 doesn't mean you should list at 300 because your house is nicer, because maybe Johnny's been on the market 60 days at 280, right? Again, if pricing is a marketing strategy and your home is really probably worth 285, if we list at 280 and that ugly house over there is at 280, what are buyers going to do? They're going to jump and devour onto your home, ultimately netting you more money. Now, let's see, so next, again, I want to pull this back and make sure that I'm being fair to you. You came to the class today because you wanted to sell for more money. Well, I guess that begs the question, do you believe your house has a fixed price, or do you believe your house will sell for a range of value, depending on maybe the negotiation skills of your realtor and, of course, condition and things like that? Yeah, every single home has a range in value. And your decision, and not only your realtor and your price, but also the condition of the home when it's on the market, is going to impact where you land within that range. I want you to be focusing on how much you net from the sale, right? This is after any repairs, after any concessions. And a pro tip of mine is a secret sentence I like to put in paragraph 32. It's a proactive way that we protect you from going under contract and then seeing that net number just slide down. Okay, there's things that we can be doing that are proactive in order to make you more money. It's about following the process to net you more money. It's about investing in the prep, investing in the right pricing, and investing in the right representation when it's time to sell your home. Now, if you text me your name and your email, and my number's on the cards on your table, it's on the slides as well. If you text me your name and your email, I'm going to send you my my comprehensive seller's guide to you totally free. It's going to walk you through step by step, everything from the first time we shake hands all the way to the last time we shake hands at the closing table, and even beyond that, right? Where we grab lunch after. That's not in there, but we can always talk about that. Okay, so one of the last things that I want to leave with you is about pricing, pricing on the bridge, and also what updates are going to maybe give you the most impact. And we'll keep this short because we're running out of time. Pricing on the bridge means instead of listing at 300, or instead of listing at 395, you list at 400. Okay, instead of listing at 245, you list at 250. And we'll go back to how are most buyers searching for homes? They're searching online. And when you're searching online, you put in parameters, right? Nobody's saying, I'll look for homes up to $299.9. No, they're saying I'll look up to 300, right? And certainly people are also saying I'll look at 300 to 400, right? And so by pricing on a bridge number, like a 250, a 300, a 325, you are maximizing the exposure that your home gets on the market. At 300, you're getting buyers looking up to 300 and 300 and above. At 299, you're only getting buyers looking up to 300, right? And so pricing on the bridge is a way to maximize your exposure and get you 18% more showings once you go live. The last things that I'm going to talk about before we wrap things up and you get to go to lunch is the lowest cost but biggest impact update you can make on your house. If you are tight on funds but you want to make some updates that are going to give you the most bang for your buck without spending too many bucks, it's lighting, okay? The lighting in your home is what can make a home feel outdated or updated. It's also very cost effective on Amazon to find light fixtures, and it doesn't take much more than a handyman to install them. And so if you are on a very tight budget, but you're trying to update your home before you sell it, lighting is what I believe is your lowest dollar invested, but your biggest impact. If you're looking for the largest impact overall, it's going to be the not fun things. It's going to be spending money on a roof, foundation if it needs it, your HVAC, all your electrical box if it's outdated, all those not fun, not pretty things that we talk about, those are going to be your best ROI in terms of dollar invested and dollar back out. I want to remind you, today you came here to learn how to sell your house for more money, but selling for more isn't about chasing the highest price. It's about making the right decisions now and making those decisions consistently throughout the process so you walk away with the most money when it really counts, which is when we're celebrating at the closing table. Again, make sure you text me your name and your email. I will send you my comprehensive seller's guide so that you can make sure you understand from point A to point Z what this process is going to look like for you. And if you're serious about selling your home in the next 12 months for the most amount of money when it counts, please text me or call me anytime. Again, my name is Joseph Hamer. Thank you so much for being at the American Dream Home Buying Conference. We wish you well.